My loopy grandma is jealous of my little brother's good looks, and she's been beefing him for years, so our family is about to cut her cord. I, 19 feet, have a very complicated relationship with my paternal grandmother. She's generally sweet to everyone but is very mean to my younger brother, 16 meters. She always has been, literally for as long as I can remember. I have a lot of theories as to why, but my grandma insists it's because my brother is immature, bratty, disrespectful, and so on. My brother is more of a troublemaker than the rest of us, but he is by no means a bad kid. Anyways, my parents, older siblings, and younger brother refuse to speak to her at all. Although I really want to cut contact with the old lady, I feel a little bad for her considering she's all alone now. My family is fine with me visiting and talking to her occasionally. Last week, I picked my brother up from school when Grandma called. She said it was an emergency, so I asked my brother if he minded if I drove over to her place real quick. He said it was okay, so we set off. My grandma kept spamming me with urgent texts the whole time. We finally got there, and my brother decided to come in as well because Grandma sent very alarming texts. But guess what? The emergency was that she ran out of stupid avocados. Not once did she mention avocados in her texts. My brother got pissed off because he missed his sports practice and said, "This is so effing annoying and screw your avocados." My grandma was shocked and called my brother a stupid schlong. She brought up his ADHD and how he was the result of an affair, 100% sure he isn't, by the way. I got pissed off too because she was being extra mean for no reason and called my grandma insane and told her that she was really crazy for having beef with a kid. Also, it's just avocados. We left after a little more arguing. My grandma keeps messaging me now saying I broke her heart and that she expected better from me. That I was incredibly rude and this isn't good for her health. I refused to respond to her texts and am planning on going no contact with her, but my older sister said I was in the wrong yesterday, which is making me doubtful. My sister says my brother insulted her first and she only retaliated. My sister also thinks my brother needed a stern talking to anyways. The only reason I'm doubtful is because my sister hates our grandma. That must mean something, right? Also, my grandma does have health issues which worsen when she's stressed, and she texted me only a couple of hours ago saying she's almost fainted a bunch of times because of my brother and me. So was I wrong for defending my brother and calling my grandma insane and crazy? Relevant comments. Your granny is a master manipulator. How many members of your immediate family dislike her and avoid her? All of them, did you say? Your language might have been a bit rough indeed, and your brother's too, but Granny claimed to have an emergency that turned out to be bogus and in poor taste. She does not respect you or your time. Stick to your guns. I suppose our language was rough. And yes. All of them. My dad's her only child too. She doesn't have many friends either and my grandpa divorced her years ago. Grandma is now trying to guilt trip you after being told off for her lack of respect. Don't cave, parents and sister can help her then. Avocados are not emergencies. Maybe your brother was rude, but she seems to be very spiteful and mean, saying he is an affair child is disgusting even if it was true. It should not be thrown in an argument. You're absolutely right. But yeah, he isn't an affair child Lamau. The only reason my grandma thinks so is because my brother looks nothing like my dad and just like my mother who was and is extremely pretty. My grandma wanted my brother to be in some beauty pageant when he was much younger and my mother refused because she hated those things and that was when my grandma started the affair child crap because somehow it correlates. I roll, am I right? Wow, recalling everything is seriously making me wonder why I even tried with her. Update. It hasn't been long, but I doubt much is going to happen after the crap that happened, so I'm updating now. So my little brother decided to take matters into his own hands and almost made everything so much worse. He and his friends were going to egg, my grandmother's house. My older brother found out and put a stop to it. We, other siblings and I, were pretty annoyed, but then my brother had a huge breakdown. He said some sad stuff, but basically, he's literally been feeling physical pain since the incident. My mom ended up walking in on this, and she was so mad. She was upset with my siblings and me for keeping this whole thing a secret but was more upset with my grandma. After I finished explaining the whole situation, Mom drove to my grandma's house and blew up. Boom. She made my brother and me come along and, holy. I've never seen my mom so angry. She told my grandma that she was tired of her behaving like a child and that she should have been grateful I still talked to her. She called my grandma a jealous witch who needed to get over herself. She then forced her to apologize to my brother and me. My grandma apologized to me but refused to even look at my brother. This made my mom angrier, and she made some very true observations about my grandma's personality. Then we left. My grandma was shocked the entire time. My mom never shouts. She's what some consider a pushover. But y'all. Anyways, Mom apologized to us as well for some reason, then got everyone ice cream. My dad is coming back tonight, Mom told him everything, and he apologized for not being here as well. They both feel guilty, but I don't think they understand that we didn't tell them for their own sakes, not because we didn't trust them. Either way, brother has a therapy appointment this week to talk about everything plus work on the whole egging houses thing, but other than that, that's it. My grandma hasn't texted me since my mom yelled at her. The reason she dislikes my brother so much is because he is quite literally a copy of my mom, and my mom is stunning. My mom was in beauty competitions as a kid, and so was my grandma. My grandma never won a single one while my mother won a couple. That's what stemmed her hatred for my mom. It's crazy how this all ties back to something so toxic. Also, my grandma loves being in control, so when my mother refused to allow my brother to participate in these dumbass beauty pageants, my grandma went crazy and accused my mom of cheating on my dad. In conclusion? I'm really fucking stupid for wanting to give my grandma a chance despite knowing all this. Like I'm going insane wondering why. Anyways, thanks for the supportive comments. I do realize now that grandma is not my responsibility.